I'm just going to say this. Yeah, I can't talk. I'm just going to say this to everybody listening. Welcome back to the Make Trades Great Again podcast. I don't know if we should say welcome back, because what if they just listen one after another?
This might be the one episode they're like, no.
Yeah, I'm done.
I can't.
They might be like, hey, I meant to stop listening to this a while ago.
31 minutes ago, I forgot to hit stop. Huh?
Oh boy. Yeah.
So for all of you who haven't hit stop, well, thank you.
Yeah. Or who are back and haven't stopped downloading us on your iPhone or Android device. Are there other phones than iPhones and Androids?
I don't know. There's got to be, right?
I don't know.
I don't think there's another platform. I don't know. Not mainstream.
Is there? There used to be Windows phones.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they even still exist. I don't know. There used to be Blackberries and that kind of stuff.
I think BlackBerry still makes stuff, but I don't think they make phones anymore.
I don't think so. I think they make like something. They make something. That's super helpful.
I think they do like computing stuff.
Yeah.
But oh boy, we're off to a good start.
Phenomenal
Lane.
Topic here.
Hey Lane, for anybody that doesn't know Lane, because you haven't met Lane is our editor. We have a producer now. We're kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say that.
Kind of up there.
Yeah, people know us.
That's right.
With many leather-bound books.
Leather-bound.
I don't know how to say this, but people know me. Lane is our producer, editor extraordinaire. He is such a nice guy. So nice that I won't let Andy meet him in person, just over email.
Yeah.
Lane, you can leave all of this in. Please don't edit this out, because I want people to know, just like they're suspicious of me being completely crazy. I want people to know that Andy is too.
Oh, well, it's fair.
I'm going to pour a little coffee, and then we're going to get right into it. We're going to do a topic that we've brushed on many, many times. That sounds stupid, because it's maybe not entirely accurate. And then now I don't want people to be like, oh, they're going to talk about something we've heard him talk about before. But it came up in a message you got from our pal Victor.
Yep.
Do you think anybody calls him Vic? He probably doesn't go by Vic.
I don't know. Is he
old enough to be a Vic?
He might be.
I don't know. How old do you got to be a Vic?
Well, I think it's a I don't know.
It's a regional thing. So like if you're in Chicago, you're probably a Vic by 40, but
Yeah. Well, we used to have a bar that was Alan Vic's. And I don't know if Vic was a Vicky or if it was a Alan Victor's. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that that Vic is long past. But
really?
Yeah, this is a weird conversation.
It is.
Anyway,
why are you uncomfortable talking about this bar, Andy?
No,
are you not supposed to go to this? What kind of bar was this, Andy?
It was a pretty crappy bar.
Yeah, but was there fully clothed individuals in there, or were there sometimes unclothed? Okay.
No, it was just your typical downtown hangout. So,
well, some people would call a strip club
the hangout,
downtown hangout.
Yeah, I guess you're right there. No, it wasn't
just to be clear. Yeah, just to be clear. Yeah, exactly. Andy just said it, but to be clear, I was only making fun of Andy and the whole situation. He doesn't go to strip clubs. Okay. No, we're going to talk about vans today, and you got a message from Victor.
I did. Yeah, Alberta building operator, I think is how he goes, or BLDG operator on Instagram.
Yep.
So
he's up in Alberta. Canada.
Yep. Up in the north.
Up north. Okay. Well, what did Vic have to say in his IG?
So he asked, what kind of things do you guys do in terms of like upgrading your vans, or what kind of things do you do to your vans to make them more usable, make them more, road ready, if you will.
Like just beyond like, hey, I got some tools in this thing, let's go.
Yeah, beyond, we put shelves in it and we did, a couple of these things. What kind of accessories do you add, that there. He gave a couple of examples, like what, do you have any 12-volt accessories that you like? Anyway, so some things like that. One of them that caught my eye was seat covers. And I know that this probably drives most people nuts because you buy a brand new van or a new van. Let's say you get a new to you van and the thing's clean. Yep. And you go work on a rough end for 2 days, and you come out on day 3 to get in your van in the morning, and you're like, the thing is freaking filthy. There's like wood chips everywhere, and because they're stuck to your back and whatever, in your jacket, and now they're on your seat.
Swass.
Sawdust ass.
No, that is sweaty ass.
Oh, swag.
Swack? You call it swack?
Sweaty crack.
Sweaty crack. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, it's true though. It's true, absolutely. And that happens over time regardless of it's, what you're doing. It just builds up. It gets gross.
It does. So anyway, to elaborate on that, the seat covers that we've been using the last I've been using for about 10 years now. The Nissan van, my 2013 that I've got, has had a set of Marathon seat covers in it since the day I owned it.
Marathon seat covers, made in Montana. United States.
Made in Bozeman.
Montana, United States.
They make some really nice, really well-fitting seat covers. You can get them in, I think the ones we were buying are like a Cordura material. Yep. And, take them off, wash them, run them through the washing machine. I mean, I don't know, the one that's on Miles's van right now has probably been washed 15 times. A couple times a year anyway.
So you're supposed to wash these things. That's why mine looks so gross.
That's, something like that.
So you turned me on to these too. They're, American made, nice. This is not a commercial for them, by the way. Although,
if they're listening.
Yeah, let it be though. Yeah. Like, seriously, check them out. They're, I can tell you that Andy influenced me on these. When I bought my current van, which is a 2019.
Yeah.
I knew that it needed seat covers because I'm the same way. I'm like, cover those seats because they get gross regardless. They're never gonna be like fully clean even if you cover them, right?
Right.
I mean, they just the dander and the dust and that's what happens. But these covers, you're right. They basically keep everything out of the seat.
Right.
And they're multi-piece and they fit for the van or the seat itself and all this stuff. I will tell you just a little bit of critique.
Yeah.
Their instructions on like this strap goes here and there. I'm like, that doesn't work.
No way you can put that strap there. It doesn't fit.
Like, no.
Maybe if you took the seat cushion off.
I was just gonna say, don't make me take my seat out of my van.
Yeah.
And that would be the point though, is that I can't get the thing on the way they say to put it on. So, but good enough. I'm good. I'm not complaining there. And if I did, let's say you could get it on the way they say it's supposed to be on with the straps and all that kind of stuff, how would you get it off to wash it? Like
if you spend the time to put it on, like so they're properly strapped.
All the Velcro and everything is aligned properly and where it's supposed to be.
Yep. They are like, I'm going to say fits like a glove.
Yeah, I mean, they bounce a quarter off of them. Bing!
Yeah. They're fit that well. They're not like your generic run down to the CarQuest or the auto parts store. And
they're not in the seat cover aisle at freaking O'Reilly's. The Marathon. No, seriously though, top notch product. And thanks for the recommendation. So anybody listening, I can tell you, Andy's right. These things are great.
Yep.
They probably make it for every vehicle you own. Every normal
they're all
vehicle,
custom built.
Yeah, but I'm saying like every regular road driven, I don't, maybe they make dump truck seat covers. I have no idea, but they probably make it for every model and make of vehicle out there.
Yeah, I would think that they do. I know that I've had them on 3 or 4 different vehicles, and we just got a set for Rob's that came in like 2 weeks ago.
God, and kid's lucky.
One of the cool things about that is that I ordered them like 2 months ago, kind of when we were like coming up on that date. And I got a call from them and they're like, hey, well, we need to know, does your van have the lumbar support? And I'm like, I don't know. And well, does it have a armrest on the passenger seat? And I'm like, oh, geez, I don't know. And they're like, well, what we're going to do is we're going to put your order in the queue so that it's holding your place. And then when you get your van, call us and tell us what it has for those accessories, because those are two things that aren't like spelled out on the order sheet. And the vans come like depending on which, like in some of the different interior options will add or delete the passenger armrest for some reason.
Sure.
And then some other option will delete the lumbar support adjustment. And so
freaking Rob's got lumbar support in his van?
His doesn't, but Jacob's does.
Oh, Jesus.
So, and I
guess I got to buy a new van.
I'm going to have to get a new van, at least new seats. Sounds like if you haven't washed the covers since you did it, you'd probably do for them anyway.
No, I know. Yeah. I'll laugh about that. That's totally true. I did notice the other day, I'm like, you can see exactly where my legs are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's
like just this is like stuff. Just stuff like ground in food or something. You know what I mean?
Beef
like
stick,
it's just,
granola bars.
Exactly. No, really. There's just like this residue. We're going to call it a residue. Residual buildup is what that is. I believe that's what they call that in the seat cover world.
That's right.
I don't know. I get my investigative journalism hat on.
Drippings.
Seat covers. What else though? Like, you know what? You've got a few vans lately, and we've talked about that. You know, you've put the Ranger shelving in the back and stuff like that. And I spent like 2 full weekends like an idiot, building mine out of plywood in the back exactly the way I wanted to put all my pack out and stuff in there, which that's a whole discussion in itself. So people, were messaging me back then, and I put a video together on YouTube, and I'm like, here's a walkthrough on what I did. Because at the time it was when a lot of this pack out was still new. Like the crates I had to wait for the crates before I knew what size they were. Right. Because I knew I wanted them. And so I was building all this custom, and some people were like, well, you can do that because, like, it's just you, or I wouldn't spend the time, or that's got to be heavier than the metal and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, well,
right.
No, there's valid points. 100% would never disagree with that. Then I got to thinking over the last, like, cause I'm talking about getting a new van. Right. And I've talked about that quite a bit. And, I've talked to you specifically just to get, just no questions or anything, just listening to you kind of from afar, talk about these shelving systems and stuff like that, because I'm not like trying to convince myself one way or another. I'm just trying to see what other people are saying.
Yeah.
And I'm on the fence because, like, I think the people are right that we're like, well, I couldn't afford to do that, build my shelves like that, because we need to put the van in service. These shelving systems are just, more economical. They're just more, they just make more sense for whatever reason. Insert here, and you're probably not wrong.
Right.
But then I still kind of think like, I really, really like that I don't have to snap my pack out organizer boxes together.
Yep.
And I can pull one out at a time. Like we all complain about, like every time you need a box, it's got 3 stacked on top of it, that kind of thing.
Yep.
I don't have that problem in my van, which is super nice.
Yeah.
Yep. And the way I use my van, like if that was this situation, in comparison, I would be unhappy.
Yep. So I've been working out of mine for a little over a year now, with the things stacked up. And I would say that it has no longer been a thing. It's just the way the van works. It's the way that stuff's organized in there. Do I go in there and 9 times out of 10, I find that the bottom box is the one I'm looking for? It happens. The incentive there is keep the floor clean, and you can, in about 1.5 seconds, take off the top 6 bins and put them on the floor, grab the bottom bin, put the 6 bins back, and now that one's the top bin.
Yeah, no doubt. There you go. Yeah.
I mean, and you have a totally valid point. And along with the same thing of, I mean, I'm trying to think, I don't remember how many days I spent on the Rob's first van build, the first transit I did, which had plywood shelves in it like yours. Mm-hmm. And I like that. I mean, they've held up well.
Yeah, but they've held up really well.
But I looked at it and I said, purely from a storage standpoint, it didn't make sense to do that again. And not saying that it's, inferior or anything like that. It's just, I didn't physically have the time to say, I'm going to build cabinets again.
Yeah. I hear you.
And
I'm on the fence. Like I said, I would probably loathe just leading up to, oh my God, I got to build these shelves, right?
Right.
But the end result is pretty freaking awesome, right?
Yeah.
I have changed my stuff around a tiny bit,
Yeah.
not much, but because it's worked. Now, would I do it different? Let's say I was going to build shelves again, like just straight up, I'm going to build them the same way, whatever. Would I do it different? Yeah, I would probably come up with a different layout than I have right now. However, doing it the way I did allowed me to like custom build in like the pipe rack inside the way I wanted it, how I wanted to take most advantage of the space. That's the other thing. So this is a great topic you showed a video on Instagram the other day. And I don't know if everybody saw it yet, but they should go over to your Instagram, go over to Andy's Instagram, see. He was hopefully it was a video, not just your stories, but you were showing the square fence post for the pipe storage.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So when I built my van, I learned that I didn't ever put any thought into this before, but if you're listening still, here you go. Here's a nugget. So you see everybody driving around with tubes on top of their van, 6-inch PVC, you buy the kit and everything like that. Super useful. You could put a lot of material in those tubes and they're, basically end up being waterproof and indestructible. However, square tube of a smaller size actually holds more material than the round PVC pipe itself. So like a 6-inch PVC pipe, which is like the standard for those top rooftop, holding material. We're talking like, PVC or not necessarily PVC, but like putting a copper pipe in them, PEX pipe, maybe some gas, that kind of stuff. Okay. Well, you can put more material in a 5-inch square, considerably more material in a 5-inch square box than you can in a 6-inch round PVC.
Yep.
And I was like, no way, whatever. And I, not that I questioned the math, but I'm like, no way, really? We've been doing it this long and we didn't nobody put two and two together. Like this is a better way. And so my point, long story longer, I bought those vinyl fence post covers, which is what your video shows. When I did my van in 2019, somebody pointed that out to me. I realized it. I'm like, wait, that makes total sense. And by the way, this makes building my van out way easier because I set these things right on the floor and build a box around them for my shelving. They don't take up space. I can stack them. They don't no wasted space. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
And they're smaller. They're way smaller than a 6-inch PVC.
Yeah.
I don't have anything material on the top of my van, which is what I prefer. I carry like gas pipe up there when I go to and from the shop to a job. And then it gets, only that day is usually up there. It's never up there for more than that.
It's hammered.
Yeah, I just don't like to carry. Well, and I just don't like to have stuff on top of the van if I don't have to. I forget it's there, and then I hit somebody's basketball hoop, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, place probably happened, or it will. That whole storage with the square thing, that was a big thing for me, and just like making the design portion of it. And you can use that like you did, integrate it right into your metal shelving system that you bought.
Yeah, that was something we were hemming and hawing about. And I need to do it with Jacob's van, because we did a little bit different on his. He's got 2 round tubes on top for 10-foot material.
Yeah.
So if he's, buying, a couple of 10-footers of 2-inch PVC, they go up top in the 6-inch tubes on top.
Yep.
And then if you nest all of that material, all your plastic,
you can get a lot in there.
You can get quite a bit in there. But we took all of the short stuff. That I'm trying to remember what the length of his tubes are. They got to be like 68 inches or something like that. They fit inside the legs, and we set it up so that the end towards the front of the van is like fixed, and you just pivot it out, so it slides out into the floor, and then you can slide stuff in and out, and then when you're done, you push it back in, and it closes inside the underneath the shelving there. And that works. It's, I don't know, whatever. With Rob's, I mean, the whole idea behind being able to pull it out was that with a Ranger shelf, the space in front of the wheel well, but behind the front bulkhead, if you will, or not the bulkhead, the front end of the shelving is dead space. You can't get to it.
Yeah.
And Rob's a lot like I am, where I'm like, I look at something like that, like there's dead space, and I'm like, I need to put something there.
Yeah.
I don't want like this, 2 foot by, 10 inch by 10 inch tall void where I can't do anything with it. And so I think he's got, what do you say? Put down there he's got a couple of backup drop claws, and a set of old overalls.
Oh yeah. Perfect.
Stuff that you're not going to use very often, but you go, hey, you know what? I got to go climb into this old dirty oil boiler and or we got a big mess.
You need it. If you don't have it, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
I did I retrofit into my back of my van a spotlight that goes, shines out the back door.
Oh, sure.
That I power off of an M18 battery. You can power it off of any battery because nowadays you can just go on eBay and get a 3D printed battery adapter for any kind of battery, tool battery out there. And then I ran that to through a switch, then through a micro process. Basically, it's just a cut-in, a voltage cutout where you can program it to like stop, turn off if the incoming voltage from the battery drops to a certain level.
Sure.
And the reason you do that is because you don't want to discharge these batteries below a base level. Right. Otherwise, when you plug them onto your charger, the charger reads the battery and says, "Oh, there's something wrong with it," right?
Right.
And that level is actually usually like the level, the voltage listed on the outside of the battery. So if it's an 18-volt battery, you don't want to drop below you can get down to like 17, but you don't want to, basically have a cutout at 18.
Yeah, right.
And then you can have it. Then it has to be like 1 volt higher. Like that's how that whole little board works. That board's like $8. But anyway, so I go through the switch, through that board, and then to this light. And I actually even integrated a motion sensor for like $4 or $5 off Amazon. And I did that, and everybody's like, "Oh, you could just power that light off your van." And I'm like, "Yeah, you totally could." First of all, it wouldn't be any fun. Second of all, I'd have to either run my van or go open and close doors to get the thing to stay on.
Yep.
Or in the meantime, just run down my battery on my van because my van just has a single battery in it.
Yeah.
And think like, why would I want to do that? Like that's not actually, like I said, again, I'll go back to it. It's no fun.
Right.
Like, I built this little contraption. I got like $30 into it. It's so much more fun this way.
Yeah.
And, test my skills and show it off on a video on the internet. But
content. Everything's content.
Everything's content. But in the end, like what I created, and I didn't create this, but many people have done this.
Yeah.
I had not seen anybody use like the components I did or whatever. But since then I've seen a lot of people have used my idea, made theirs even nicer.
Yeah.
And I did it because it works. And I work, you know how it is in Montana. Yeah. Basically we change the clocks in November and a week later it's dark for the rest of the year. Right.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Yeah. And so I'm working on people's heating systems and it's 8:00 at night. Well, the problem is that one house you go to this next week and you're there at night and they got like those stupid like 1989 lights on the front of their garage and they got like the little candelabra kind of, and you can't see.
Yeah.
You can't see that you're standing on black ice.
Yeah. You
in the driveway.
feel like you're walking down an alley in like old Berlin.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. Old Berlin is right. And yet, it's not the people you got to worry about. It's the black ice that you're going to fall and break your ass on.
Right.
And so I told, I said, like, look, to a lot of people, like, why did you do that? I'm like, here's why, honestly, is I can turn this on quick because I know I'm going to be in and out a few times to get everything in and out that I need. And I'm going to have a lit up area to walk on.
Yeah. Well, and with the motion sensor setup, you can walk away.
Just leave it
turns
on.
off. Yep. And when you come back around the corner out to the van again, it's on.
Yep.
So that's cool.
And the van's just sitting there getting cold anyway. So who cares? Like if the doors are open.
Right.
And you open those doors and it does put out a lot of light, but not like this spotlight that it's just a LED bar that I bought on Amazon for like $20.
Yeah.
I think it's like a 12-inch long one and it's way bright. Like I could never, like it's so much brighter than you need. You can't look at it. You look at it, then you're going to fall on your face anyway. That was one of the things that was a big upgrade. Well, but to me, that was an upgrade in the end.
Yeah.
Like it turned out to be so useful. I don't use it all the time, but when I need it, I am so glad I have that stupid light sitting there.
Right. I for talking of lighting, the last couple vans we got did not come with all of the cargo lights. Right. So Ford Transit, that's one of the great things about the Transit van in these cargo vans is these little like 1.5 by 2 little rectangular puck light that they snap into the crossbars in the ceiling.
Yep.
If you have 2 of them, hey, that's good. It's nice. If you put the 4 or the 2 in the back as well, the inside of the van is lit up like a stadium. It's awesome. Crazy.
There's 4 little lights. They're not even half the size of your cell phone.
Right. I found I was going to order them off of Ford or directly from Ford to the dealership, and I was like, I don't know. I'll do a little looking. They were like $80. I don't think there might even been like $80 a piece.
Oh my God.
It was, typical like dealer accessories. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. Okay, whatever. So I ended up finding them on eBay and they were a takeout, so it was like somebody.
Oh, so they're even the OEM lights.
Yeah. Well, it was this upfitter that does like camper conversions.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You got to get those lights out of there. They're going to be different. Yep.
Yeah. So they're popping them out and they were selling them. I don't remember what it was. $39 for a 2-pack,
That's a quarter of the price what you're going to pay for.
Yeah. So I ordered like 6 of them and now all of our vans are set up with 4 each of those. And I was trying to
just pierce onto the wiring or what?
No, the wiring harness is in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You just have to plug them in.
Yeah. You pull the wire, you reach up in there. There's a piece of black, looks like black masking tape where the wire's folded over and you undo it and there's the clip and you just go bink and then snap the thing into the hole. I mean,
you're dead right though. Like the inside of the van, the lighting is, mine has all the lights.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed how bright it is inside. And all my shelving and everything's painted black.
Yeah.
Which, and then the boxes are red. So like in all reality, it's like not gonna, like you need light in there just because of that. It's absorbing, it's not reflecting, you know. But no, the lighting inside's big. Victor was saying something about like adding outlets and, charge ports and 12-volt this or that. And well, I don't find myself needing that stuff in my van. I have a cigarette lighter, 12-volt, adapter, which I think is an option. You have to check the box on when you order.
Yeah, I think
I don't think they automatically put it in the dash.
Yep, mine's got 2, so it's got one next to the cup holders on the console,
and then one over by the passenger side, right?
No. Then there's one up in the dash in front of the steering wheel.
Oh, mine
which is super nice because that's
mine
where
doesn't have the dash steering wheel one. Mine has a second one that's over on the other side of the console.
Yeah, where there's like a pocket in front of the on the dash in front of the steering wheel. Yep. Inside of that, there's a USB and a cigarette lighter.
Oh, so my pocket,
which is kind of nice.
My pocket is my AirPod case holder.
Oh,
that's what mine. I'm just saying
it's
that's what
big
I put
though, isn't it? Like,
oh no, a different pocket then. Ours must just be different. Yeah. Anyway, so Andy's van is different than Eric's van. So if you're keeping track at the 30-minute mark.
Sorry to burst your bubble.
No, but I have the little adapter, the cigarette lighter adapter. There's probably kids listening to this, not kids, but young guys and gals listening to this don't even know that what used to be a cigarette lighter thing.
Yeah. They're like, how did you like light that on fire?
Yeah. But anyway, so, we're old. Yeah. But the 12-volt adapter, I just have the little plug-in, that has like 3 ports for USB on it.
Yeah. Did you, speaking of that, did you notice the car we rented in Munich to drive to Stuttgart, did you notice that it had a cigarette lighter in it?
Oh,
it's the first one I'd seen in a long time. I was going to make a stupid comment about it, but I was like,
just go buy a pack of smokes so we can use a cigarette lighter.
That's right. Go buy some stogies.
Yeah. Isn't that funny though? Cigarette lighters. I had a 1984 Chevy Silverado, C10. I don't know.
Yeah. 4-wheel drive.
No, this one was not.
So it would have been a C10, yeah.
It was a 2-wheel drive, dual fuel tank.
Nice.
350 with a 4-barrel. You could just watch the. God, you needed both tanks on this thing.
You could hear the gas gauge.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you could barely hear it because it had an exhaust leak,
right?
Of course. But no, whole point I'm getting at. I had the floor button.
High beam.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it for sure had a well-used cigarette lighter in that thing.
Yeah.
Cigarette lighters. Okay. Well, anyway, so I just have the little button, power adapter, and that's good enough for me. Honestly, I haven't needed any more than that in that vehicle.
No,
I think just nowadays too, our freaking cell phone batteries are like, they last forever, and I video all day long, and I'm still surprised. Like at the end of the day, I'm like, how's my phone even on? and then the other thing is like all my Unilights are all USB-C, rechargeable, and so I'm charging them in my van.
Yeah,
because like I got enough lights, thankfully. Either I've bought or they've given me a few along the way, but I've got enough to where I'm not relying on like that one light when it's dead. I'm like, oh my God, charge it, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So like they're just sitting on the passenger seat charging whatever.
Yep. Something to note about Unilight, and I think you and I have talked about this. For anybody out there that's got a Unilight and they're using like their fancy upgraded multi-voltage light, like charging adapter, don't use it on your Unilight. It's not good for them. And I had an issue when I first got I think you sent me that 375.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
375. Don't tell me it's dead.
No, it works fine, but it wouldn't charge.
Oh yeah.
It just, like I'd plug it in, the thing wouldn't charge. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I killed it on the first day,
right?
For the first week, and it wouldn't charge. And I couldn't figure it out. And so I messaged Unilight on Instagram and was talking with, is it Nick? I don't know. Anyway, one of the guys there, I'm not sure. And he was asking like what I was charging on. He's like, oh, don't plug it into that, cause that's like the high output. And they're not, the charge circuit in the flashlight doesn't like it. So if you have something like that, plug it into an old school type outlet and it'll charge just fine.
I wonder, I do mine on my cigarette lighter adapter, but I wonder if I just seriously by total luck have one that works.
You know must. What I mean? Yep.
Because I haven't.
I think it's 1,000 milliamp charging capacity is where they recommend. Okay. So anyway, like if you have like a USB,
you want to upgrade your van, just start buying Unilights. Carry them around.
If you have like a USB port on your vehicle, that's usually going to be like a 750 or 1,000 milliamp output, and that'll charge it just fine. So,
that's interesting. I wonder that little adapter I have though. It must just be. I just buy luck. It works. Yeah. But seriously, for that matter, it's been fine for me. But you've been buying vans with the power outlet, 120 volt
with the inverters.
It just comes with one outlet, right?
Yeah, it's underneath on the Transits. It's
isn't it like the base of the seat or something like that?
Yeah, it's like a 500 and it's like 590 or something like that is the cost of the upgrade.
Yeah,
and it's like it's kind of a lot of money because you could go buy like a plug-in inverter. The thing that I've thought about and where I go is the cost of the inverter upgrade includes the factory inverter, which is super nice, and auto powered and protected and all that, and then it also includes dual batteries. So they add another battery.
But doesn't it also upgrade your alternator too?
It could.
To like a 290 instead of like a 150 or something like that. I think it does. Which is significant for these vehicles. If you're going to run power off of them for any amount of time, then you get back in that thing. It's got to be able to charge those batteries back up quickly.
Yep. So it's a 400 watt inverter. I've always, like in mine, I've just procrastinated and I haven't done anything with it. So I've always got an M18 charger sitting between the seats. And then I just plug my batteries in right there. Like I said in the video that I did with Rob's, we ran a surge strip from that into the cargo space and into that Harbor Freight tool chest.
Yeah.
And so he's got a charging station inside the tool chest now that I think he's enjoying. I think it works pretty well. And Rob's one of those guys that's pretty diligent about, like, I'm going to get all my stuff charged up. Yeah. And so I'm sure that he's probably got battery 1, battery 2, battery 3, and he's got a system for it. So, which is pretty nice to, show
what
up.
My system is just have lots of batteries.
Lots of batteries.
Eventually one of them is going to have power, right? Yeah. I mean, I know that's not literally how it works, but the more batteries I have, the better off I am. Trust me. I don't have a power outlet to plug in a charger. I don't have that. Because I didn't order my van.
Yeah.
And it wasn't on the van that I bought. And it just, that would be nice. It's not a deal breaker for me at this point, because the van I got, I like so much because it has a couple of the options that I wouldn't want to be without, which brings me, like, let's wrap this up, but like real quick. What is something on the van that because you're new to these transits, first of all, not new in the sense that you've had a couple for a few years now, but like you just started working on a van for the first time after many years of working in a pickup truck. Right. I was the same way until the current van I'm in. But like, what would you say if you're going to buy a van tomorrow? And pick anything. I think I might be able to pick. I think I know what you're going to pick, but pick any kind of feature on it. What would you make sure, like, couldn't live without? Sorry, there's easier way to get to that.
Well, whatever.
You're going to order one tomorrow. What does it have to have on it? Like, pick one or two things.
I'm going to say,
assuming you're going to get the height and length and all that kind of crap you want.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to order it for sure with all-wheel drive.
Okay.
I mean, not even a question. I'm also going to probably order, a couple of things, functionality-wise. EcoBoost.
Yeah.
I've heard people say, oh, geez, you're going to have issues with that. You're going to have this. I've also heard people say, well, with the non-turbo ones, you have issues with this. And I'm like, okay, well, we're going to have issues with something on every van that we have.
Well, it's mechanical.
It's mechanical. Something's going to break down.
Yeah.
And you don't ever hear from anybody that had great success, or very, very rarely do you hear from somebody that had like, oh, the van's been completely flawless for.
We put 400,000 miles on it. We never did anything but change the oil and put tires on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Insurance, Yep. Okay, cool.
So
thanks, Lloyd.
Anyway, so is that a possibility? Sure. I think those two things are big ones. In the cab, things I'm going to add as an upgrade. So things that people don't recognize right out of the gate. The storage shelf above the driver's compartment in a mid and high roof, the shelf thing is not standard.
Not anymore. It used to be.
Not anymore. It used to be. So I would definitely order that. Jacob's van we didn't order, does not have that, and so he's missing that chunk of shelving up there. That's
where you put your sunglasses, dude. Your shades, pit vipers.
Yeah, he's got it. His van's got some other like console thingy up there above the mirror.
Hey, his van's lame.
Yeah. Well,
next.
Sorry, Jacob. What else is in there? Something, and I don't know why it's a thing. Rob's van came without the auto start disable button.
Oh, you mean like the auto stop, the engine?
Yeah, you can't turn it off, like, which is fine. I mean, whatever. I mean, let the thing do its thing.
That's probably some freaking government standard thing. That
well, it's weird because it's listed on the sell sheet. Some option that I selected, it deleted it.
Yeah,
and I don't know. Anyway,
yeah. Okay.
So
you didn't hit the one thing that I would have said. I want all-wheel drive, but I don't have it.
Yeah. Okay.
I would like the power outlet.
Yep.
It's not, like I said earlier, it's not a deal breaker for me, but if I was ordering, I'm going to make sure it has it.
Yep.
Because I like the idea of having the 2 batteries besides.
Yep.
Okay. Touchscreen nav, infotainment, that whole thing.
Yep.
I have it's 2019, so I think my screen is smaller than the current, like, go buy a new one today option.
Yep.
Nonetheless, it's not tiny by any means, and it's nice. It's got a nice screen on it. Camera is built into that versus any other option. I wouldn't be without that. I mean, there's it's crazy because there's a dealership that I wouldn't have bought from, but it's my closest, most immediate Ford dealership here. They have 2 Transits sitting on the lot right now, which is insane. Somebody must have ordered these things and then said, I don't want them.
Then found 2 more. Yep.
They're both all-wheel drive. They're both mid-roof, long wheelbase. One is extended and one is regular body. So I'd have my pick, and they're priced right, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They both have EcoBoost. They don't have anything inside. They don't have the liners on the walls. They don't have a bulkhead, nothing. Yeah. But they're like 54, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They both have the little tiny screen, all button radio. And I'm like, nope, that is a deal breaker because I live in this freaking thing. And having Apple CarPlay and having the big screen with navigation options. And I think Ford's navigation is great. Also, I use it on my phone too, but I prefer to punch in the address into my van.
Okay.
Because then 6 months from now, when I go service that boiler, I just start typing the address and it auto recalls one that I've been to.
Sure.
I like that feature. It's a nice little stupid thing that makes your day a little easier. But that would be, honestly, that's it right there. Like, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things that are important to me. But on this subject of what would be the, no, I'm not going to buy that. And because I just said it, like, literally Heather and I stopped and looked at it because she's like, there's 2 vans at Elk River Ford. And I'm like, what? And so we were driving through, coming home from Costco or something, and she's like, "Oh, let's stop," And so we pulled off the highway, pulled in there, and I'm like, "Hell yeah, look at these!" I'm looking, I'm like, "Dang!" I'm taking a picture of the window sticker. I'm like, "This is right in my alley," And I'm like, "Hell!" And then I peered through the window one more time. I looked over, and there's the freaking little screen that's like, it's like a 3-inch screen. And I'm like, "Nope, that ain't gonna do it. Ain't gonna do it. Sorry."
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. To me, it's not that big a deal. I did order this last van with what I thought I did was with the Sync 4 6-inch touchscreen, and I think that's what it is, 5.5, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's probably what mine is. Yeah,
and it didn't come that way, which I was a little bit disappointed in. So for some reason, they changed that when I ordered it. To what they thought I wanted, which kind of drives me nuts. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, if I put it on the order sheet, then call me if you don't think I should. If you think I screwed that up, there's.
I hear you. Look, I know I can live without it.
Yeah.
I know I can. I could go get that van. It probably would be a good buy for me.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just saying, like, I don't want to have to use my phone. I would prefer that system.
Right.
I really would. I think the radio sounds nice for a van like this. I think the touchscreen is useful. I think the backup camera is invaluable on that large screen. Like, I ain't getting any younger. Like, I need a big old screen. I need the windshield to turn into a backup camera.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I do believe, if I remember right, the difference between going from the Sync 3, which is the standard, touchscreen AM/FM radio with XM, to the Sync 4 is like $1,300.
I wonder if I have the Sync. I don't know what I have, but I have
it's touchscreen
and everything.
It's the Sync 4, and then then there's above that there's a Sync 4 like 11-inch, and that's what my truck now has. That new F-250, and it's like
fancy,
like freaking fold your laptop in half and stuff it in the dash. I mean, it's freaking gigantic, which is super nice. It's the first vehicle I've ever had that has like dual displays, right? Like you can split screen the dash, or not the dash, but the display on the where your radio's at.
What for?
So you can have navigation running on the side panel, or maybe on the main panel, and then your XM radio or your Spotify is on the other side of it. And so you can look at like there's it'll play the show you the cover art for the album, and
that's nice.
Whatever you're listening to. It's kind of cool.
You know what I thought was cool in that Volkswagen we had in where were we? Where we had that? Munich, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you think it was cool to see this is probably standard on vehicles, but the GPS in the gauge cluster?
It was super nice.
The whole gauge cluster disappeared, wiped itself out, and it was like this crisp, like almost beautiful GPS. Like,
it was phenomenal.
Graphic.
And what I thought was interesting is that you could have it where the radio's at, you could have it where the gauge cluster was at, but the one that was in the gauge cluster was so much more detailed, like it was where you're at.
Had
now.
Like terrain and everything.
Yeah. Where the other one was like an overview, like
just like what you see on your phone or whatever.
Yeah. And it was so different. It was cool to have that, like the different contrast of it. And then the speedometer was just numbers. There, like in the upper right corner, there was like you're doing 108 kilometers. Like sweet, But it was just super simple. Nothing on there that you didn't need.
Honestly, Volkswagen, nice. It's probably in all of that suite, though. It's probably in Audis and everything like that. It's all the same company, but like, that technology is probably in all those. But they nailed it. Like it was nice. What was that? An Atlas?
No, it was a Touareg.
Touareg. What? Are you sure it wasn't an Atlas?
I think it was Touareg.
I don't know. It was either one.
It was a nice car. It was a super nice car.
It was really nice.
If we were looking for that mid-size SUV for something, I'd highly consider that car. It was incredibly comfortable to drive.
Well, we're almost 50 minutes into this just chatting about vehicles now.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay, one last thing. Because why don't we just round it out at 50?
Okay.
I've talked about this, you and I, many times, and I think I even brought it up when you and I were together in Germany, or maybe we were just talking, maybe it was somebody else. I'm not going to go on the rant that I can find myself going on this, but regarding the van and electric vehicles and the current offering of the gas vehicles.
Right.
Why the hell do they not make this as a hybrid? Give me 80 miles give me 80 miles on a transit battery. Or 50 miles on a transit battery.
Yeah. And then gas
the rest of the day. I would buy that vehicle.
I don't know.
I just seriously think about that.
Yep.
Do you imagine the amount of money? We're not talking plug-in hybrid. We're talking standard hybrid vehicle.
Yep.
Or maybe it is a plug-in. I don't even know.
I mean, I think about something like that. Like Miles, for instance, right now is living in Lolo, which is like, 15 minutes south of Missoula. Yeah. Not a long ways. I mean, it's he's got a 10-minute highway commute, and then he's 5 minutes across town, to get to the middle of town, let's say. And for something like that would be phenomenal, because a lot of that 10-minute drive, that 10-minute commute, at least twice a day, if he's not working down there, is like the ideal hybrid running. 60 miles an hour.
Right, but guess what?
Rolling down the road.
Every day that you're not driving at highway speeds for the first 50 miles would be the right day to have that vehicle.
Yeah.
It's not about the one day. It's about the many years you own it.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's I forgot to bring that up earlier, but honestly, if they made these things in a hybrid,
Yeah.
That would be just, it seems to me like a friggin' no-brainer.
Right. My guess is
technology, the vehicle and everything. Yeah, of course it does.
It must have to do with some sort of rebate program or something where the incentive value is not there for hybrid.
I think it's probably a cost. Yeah, you're right. It's probably also a cost of component kind of situation where these things have got a market where they've inched up in price over time. No doubt they've inched. You used to be able to buy like a Chevy Express for like 25, 30. Now you're buying Ford Transits for 60. You know what I mean? But the vehicles are way better than they were before.
I was talking to a guy the other day that was like, "Oh yeah, I got a new van," and I'm like, "Oh sweet, what'd you get?" And I bought a new Express or Chevy Express van 3500, and I'm like, "Oh, did you get like KUV body?" Nope. Wow. Yeah, I just got the 6-liter, Express, extended van body, and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And what'd you get that for?
Carrying around a coffin in the back, because that'd be the limit of what I'd want to have in getting
right. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, what'd you pick that up for?" He's like, "Oh, like 61." He says, "It wasn't that bad." And I was
like, "Are you serious?"
Well, okay, well, you must, okay, cool,
wow,
congrats, And I was trying not to be a dick, but I'm like, dude, you got like half the van for more money. That's awesome.
Yeah, good for you.
Sorry. Sorry for all you Chevy Express van lovers out there.
I'm not. They just
sorry.
What the hell is? Yeah, what the hell is Chevy's problem? Like,
I don't.
What is taking so long?
I have no clue.
Makes no sense to me.
No. Get off the bandwagon. Something.
We are way too long on this van talk.
Wait,
nice new studio in the background there. By
that's upgraded.
Anybody watching on the YouTubes can see the cool new Mickelson Plumbing studio. All right, I'm gonna hit stop.
Stop. Do it.
All right, dude.